Welcome to our countdown of the top 10 most successful serial killers in history. These notorious individuals have shocked the world with their heinous crimes. Their stories, often stranger than fiction, offer a glimpse into the darkest recesses of the human psyche. Viewer discretion is advised, as this video contains graphic content. From the bustling streets of London to the rural heartlands of America, join us as we uncover the chilling truths behind some of history's most prolific killers. Our journey into the annals of criminal history begins with a man who shattered the very foundation of trust between doctor and patient, Harold Shipman. Known as Dr. Death, Shipman was a trusted physician in England, a beacon of hope and healing in his community. Yet, beneath this veneer of respectability lurked a sinister secret. For over 2 decades, Shipman used his position to prey on the vulnerable, injecting at least 250 patients with lethal doses of diamorphine. His victims, many of them elderly and alone, placed their faith in him, unaware that their trusted physician was the architect of their demise. Shipman's methods were chilling in their simplicity. He would visit his victims in their homes, often under the guise of a routine checkup. He would then administer the fatal injection, forging medical records to make the deaths appear natural. In 1998, after a detailed investigation, the horrifying truth was finally revealed. Our journey takes us to the rugged terrain of South America, where the crimes of Pedro Alonso López, known as the Monster of the Andes, left an indelible scar on the continent. López's reign of terror targeted the most vulnerable members of society, young girls, many of them living on the fringes of society. Luring his victims with promises of food, money, or a better life, López would gain their trust before leading them to secluded areas where he would torture and kill them. His crimes, marked by a chilling brutality, spanned across 3 countries: Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. The discovery of mass graves containing the remains of dozens of young girls brought the true horror of López's crimes to light. Despite the overwhelming evidence against him, López's story takes an even more disturbing turn. After serving a prison sentence in Ecuador, he was deemed sane and released in 1998. His current whereabouts remain unknown. Our exploration of the dark side of humanity takes us to 1970s America, a time of social change and upheaval. It was against this backdrop that Ted Bundy, a seemingly charming and charismatic law student, embarked on a killing spree that would terrorize the nation. Bundy's crimes shattered the illusion of safety and security as he targeted young women, often luring them with his good looks and disarming charm. Confessing to 30 homicides across several states, Bundy's true victim count remains a mystery, with experts believing the number to be much higher. His capture in 1978 marked the beginning of a long and complex legal battle. Despite his attempts to maintain his innocence, Bundy was ultimately convicted and sentenced to death. His execution in 1989 marked the end of a reign of terror. Our journey into the heart of darkness takes us to Lahore, Pakistan, where the crimes of Javed Iqbal sent shockwaves through the nation and beyond. In the late 1990s, Iqbal's horrific acts targeted young boys, exposing the vulnerability of children and the dark undercurrents that can fester in even the most bustling of cities. Iqbal's crimes were as brutal as they were methodical. He would lure his victims, often street children struggling to survive, with promises of food, shelter, and a better life. His confession, delivered to authorities in a chilling letter, detailed the extent of his depravity. He claimed to have killed over 100 boys. Before his sentence could be carried out, Iqbal was found dead in his cell, leaving behind a legacy of pain, anger, and unanswered questions. Our exploration of the dark side of human nature takes us behind the Iron Curtain to the Soviet Union, where the crimes of Andrei Chikatilo, the butcher of Rostov, cast a long shadow over the final years of the Cold War. For over a decade, Chikatilo preyed on the most vulnerable members of Soviet society, targeting women and children in a killing spree that would terrorize a nation already grappling with political and social upheaval. His crimes, often committed in wooded areas near railway stations, exposed the dark underbelly of Soviet society. For years, Chikatilo evaded capture, his crimes blamed on a system ill-equipped to deal with such a prolific killer. It was not until 1990, after one of the largest criminal investigations in Soviet history, that Chikatilo was finally apprehended. Our journey into the heart of darkness takes us to the Chicago suburbs, where the seemingly ordinary life of John Wayne Gacy masked a horrifying secret. Gacy, known by many as a friendly neighbor and active community member, was living a double life, one that would shock the nation and expose the dark side lurking beneath the surface of American suburbia. Gacy's crimes, committed in the 1970s, targeted young men and boys, many of them lured to his home with promises of work, money, or a good time. His home, a seemingly ordinary suburban residence, became his killing ground. The discovery of the remains of 29 young men and boys beneath his home in 1978 sent shockwaves through the nation. Despite his attempts to plead insanity, Gacy was found guilty and sentenced to death. His execution in 1994 marked the end of a reign of terror. Our exploration of the dark side of human nature takes us to the Pacific Northwest, where the Green River Killer's reign of terror left an indelible scar on the region. For over 2 decades, Gary Ridgway preyed on women, his crimes casting a long shadow over the communities along the Green River in Washington state. Ridgway's crimes, committed between 1982 and 1998, targeted vulnerable women, many of them runaways or sex workers struggling to survive on the fringes of society. For years, Ridgway evaded capture, his crimes baffling investigators and terrorizing communities. It was not until 2000, with the advent of DNA technology, that investigators were finally able to connect Ridgway to the Green River killings. His arrest and subsequent confession exposed the horrifying extent of his crimes. Our journey into the heart of darkness takes us to Brazil, where the life and crimes of Pedro Rodrigues Filho, known as Pedrinho Matador, challenge our understanding of justice and morality. Filho's story, set against the backdrop of a country grappling with poverty and violence, is a chilling reminder of the cyclical nature of violence. His first taste of violence came early, witnessing his father's murder. This set him on a path of revenge and bloodshed. His crimes blurred the lines between vigilante justice and murder. Filho became a folk hero to some, a symbol of resistance. His legacy remains a subject of debate. Our exploration of the dark side of human nature takes us to the bustling streets of Chicago during the 1893 World's Fair. Holmes, America's first documented serial killer, constructed his twisted vision of the American dream, a murder castle. Holmes, a charismatic con man, saw opportunity in the visitors flocking to Chicago. His labyrinthine hotel became a trap for unsuspecting guests. The hotel, a house of horrors, was disguised as a place of comfort. Secret passageways, gas chambers, and soundproofed rooms were part of Holmes's deadly design. Holmes's capture and trial in 1896 captivated the nation. Our journey into the annals of criminal history culminates in the fog-shrouded streets of Victorian London, where the legend of Jack the Ripper continues to cast a long shadow. In the autumn of 1888, a reign of terror gripped the Whitechapel district as a series of gruesome murders transformed the city's underbelly into a hunting ground for a killer whose identity remains one of history's most enduring mysteries. The victims, all women living in poverty on the fringes of Victorian society, were brutally murdered, their bodies left mutilated in the dark alleys and courtyards of Whitechapel. Theories abounded as to the killer's identity, ranging from a disgruntled medical student to a member of the royal family. Yet, despite numerous suspects and countless theories, Jack the Ripper's true identity remains shrouded in mystery. The Whitechapel murders, though officially unsolved, continue to fascinate and horrify, inspiring countless books, films, and documentaries. These serial killers, though often separated by time and geography, share a common thread of darkness. Their stories a chilling reminder of the fragility of life and the depths of human depravity. Their crimes, etched in the annals of history, serve as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance, justice, and understanding the complex factors that can contribute to such horrific acts. From the rudimentary techniques of the Victorian era to the sophisticated DNA analysis of today, the pursuit of justice has always been a race against time. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of darkness. By shedding light on these dark chapters in human history, we hope to foster a greater understanding of the complexities of human nature and the importance of creating a safer and more just world for all.